All right, just to get to the point, I'm not a professional financial person. I'm a stock investor like everybody else is trying to figure it out. I think it's worth putting some time into Tesla and trying to figure out what is a fair price of Tesla. I have done a fair amount of research on this to try to get to a real stock price, trying to figure out how people determine what stock prices are and what Teslas could be. My research probably has been ongoing for a year, maybe slightly more. This number 500 trillion seems to matter a lot. It's the total amount of money circulating that can be invested in assets, housing, bonds, stocks, a lot of that stuff. You have to make sure whatever you think the stock price is going to be, it's going to be below 500 trillion, because your stock, your asset is not going to be the only one in the world, obviously. So let's make sure we're well under that. All right, here we go. Let's add up all the TAM's total addressable market. That's the amount of money that is available in the future to these various companies. Tesla makes electrical vehicles. A fair TAM, I think, is 980 billion by 2028. $1 trillion essentially out there. We're seeing countries and states essentially force people to buy EVs. So it's pretty fair to say they are going to be getting some of that $1 trillion, and that the $1 trillion is a real number. AI. So they make robots and they're trying to do autonomous driving. It's all being filtered into a computer. So clearly Tesla is some part of this AI world. There's another $1 trillion there. A trillion for global EV, a trillion for AI. Let's take a look at solar power. Clearly, you can buy Tesla solar panels. You can buy, eventually, they'll probably get this solar roof where the entire roof is just solar. You're not buying panels, but the roof is solar. So they're saying 300 billion by 2030. So we're somewhere up around 2.5 trillion. Autonomous driving. I think that's the big what if. Can they get there? I think ARK is saying like $1 trillion for autonomous driving, but some of the research I did is looking at 70 billion by 2030. So let's just stick that number in there. 70 billion seems like enough money, a fair amount of money. I think the biggest question is, can they pull this off? Can they make autonomous driving a real thing that's safe and approved by whatever agencies need to approve it? Battery storage, $30 billion. Can Tesla get part of this battery storage? You can look up the article. Apple bought a mega pack from Tesla. So clearly they know how to do battery storage. So we got the global EV, we got the AI, we got some solar money, autonomous driving, battery storage, robotics. You can watch the videos on YouTube where Tesla is there. There's like this robotic arm that builds the car, and then there's some kind of robot they're trying to make that's going to be like your like you're going to have it in your house. It's going to be like your maid or something. $200 billion of TAM possibly there by 2030. We're gonna bring in the powers. We're gonna bring in the spirits of Warren Buffett. Don't forget to round down margin of safety. Let's try to get a base case and let's try to buy the stock closer to the lower end. I think that's just self-explanatory, common sense type stuff. Rates matter. If the Fed is cutting rates, stock evaluations go up. If the Fed is putting more money in the market, stock evaluations go up. But nothing is more important than execution. Tesla actually has to make this robot. And the question is, will they execute? And I think what I go back to is a simple thing, which is not related to Tesla, but it's related to SpaceX. He landed a rocket. So I think he can pull it off. 3 trillion is the magic number. I think there's $3 trillion of TAM available for Tesla by the year 2030. They are not going to get all $3 trillion. They are going to get a market share, a blended market share of each of the areas, 10%. That takes from 3 trillion down to $300 billion. Things are sold at a margin, on a margin. And there's a cost to make it. You got to pay employees. You have to maintain your machinery, etc. Let's give them a 10% margin. We took $3 trillion and we boiled it down to $30 billion of good, cold, hard cash. Let's put a 20 PE on that. That's got to be fair when you're talking about one of the most exciting companies in the world, if not the most exciting company in the world. A 20 PE, I think we can all agree that's fair. We just took 300 We took $30 billion market cap. We times it by 20. We're at $600 billion market cap. That's the magic number. 600 billion by 2030. We're evaluating Tesla in this scenario as a tech company. And that is the crux of all this. Are they a tech company? Are they a car company? I feel they're a tech company. If you feel they're a car company, you take $600 billion of TAM and you put it at 200 billion. So divide by 3, whatever the stock price of your goal is, if you view it as a tech company. And if you view it as an EV company, divide it by 3. So 600 billion versus 200 billion. The current stock price is essentially 600 billion. I find it's very helpful. Forget about thinking about the dollar price of the stock. You need to know the market cap of the stock. That is the price of the stock. They just converted to a dollar price for simplicity and probably some element of manipulation. However, $600 billion is basically where we are at currently, which is around $190 a share. $190 a share by 2030. Base case includes a margin of safety, includes climate, the current climate with the current interest rates, with the current money supply. I feel money supply will increase. I feel rates will go down. I feel at some point between now and 2030, froth will come back, excitement, etc., and this stock price will be up. I believe we will see Tesla at $1 trillion market cap again. And that is why it matters so much. Tech company versus car company. What do you believe? I'm going tech company. I'm going $1 trillion market cap by 2030 at some point because SpaceX landed a rocket. There's my logic.